Now I'm joined on the line by Lord Sugar, Alan Sugar, former chairman of Tottenham Hotspur. And Lord Sugar, your reaction to this verdict?
I'm not surprised at all. I've been following the case, albeit through reports from the media, and I think it's always been a very difficult case for the revenue or the Crown prosecution to prove, as most of these cases are. And I just seem to wonder whether, if his name was, Harry Cohen or Harry Bloggs, whether this thing would have ever gone to court, whether this was a kind of try to make an example out of a high-profile name. I can't help but think that's what this was all about.
Do you think they were just targeting a name, or the fact that there is an awful lot of money slopping around at the top of football?
Well, I think there's been talk about, things going funny in football over finances for many years now, and I have to say that, with the amount of concentrated effort on allegations of things going on in football over the years, that I would say is most probably one of the cleanest industries at the moment, because someone would have to be absolutely stupid to do something wrong now, in far as players are concerned. There's been lots of kind of issues with football clubs allegedly paying players incorrectly and contracts outside of the UK and all that type of stuff, and I think the revenue are right on top of it. So I think that there's nothing more going on in football, and this is like the tail end of last inquiries.
I presume you know Harry Redknapp quite well. Yeah. Does he strike you as the sort of honest Joe, simple soul that he presented himself as to the court?
Adam, one thing, being a chairman of the football club and having been involved in negotiating contracts with individuals like Harry and football players, I honestly, in his defence, have to tell you that these people, they've been in football since they're 15 or 16 years old. They kick footballs around. They're not the most eloquent as far as understanding technical matters. They tend to sign things, shove a piece of paper under a player's nose because his agent says, sign this, or his accountant says, sign this, and they will. They have a trust in their accountants and their agents and all this type of thing, in a similar way that you might have a trust in one of your relatives, who happens to be your brother or your sister or your lawyer or something, who says, just sign this, sign your annual tax return, go on, sign it, like I do. My bloke gives me my annual tax return, sign it, because I have a trust in them. So I do see that. I see that, quite frankly, and and it's difficult to try and explain that to lawyers who, of course, who would never think of doing things in such a slapdash manner. But, that's the difference between a lawyer or a barrister and someone in football.
Seeing the enormous public interest there outside the court, and apologies, there are flash photography in that if that's a problem for you. But Lord Sugar, what about Harry Redknapp's future now? A lot of people thinking that even within days, perhaps, he could be the England manager.
Well, I watched your reports with your coverage, which has been very good on this, and one of the things which I did notice is he thanked Daniel Levy, his current chairman, for the support that has been given to him over the time. And I think making a statement like that, knowing Harry, and I don't know anything, but knowing Harry, I would find it very, very unpalatable for him to kind of walk away now. He's shown his thanks to Daniel Levy, and I think the team is doing great at the moment, and we have got, his head will be clear as a bell now. He'll have the support of the players and everything like that, and he can go for a Champions League position or maybe even the league. And I think, if he's got any aspirations about England, I'm sure he's an honourable man in the sense that he won't do anything about it until he's completed his obligations with Spurs. That's my opinion.
And of course he'd have much to look forward to with Spurs next season as well.
Well, he would do. But knowing the man, I think that and bearing in mind he actually went to the trouble of talking about the support he had from Daniel Levy, I think he'll find it very well. I'm quite sure he would do the professional thing. Yeah.